Good morning, everybody. In Oxford, people have been fighting back against road blockages and the forthcoming so-called climate lockdowns or 15-minute neighbourhoods. And there was a report on the local television news channel recently that showed some local people removing road blockages which have been put in by the council as part of their existing low traffic neighbourhood schemes. These have been propping up all over the country, London, Oxford and other places, brought in with emergency legislation in the COVID times, and therefore councils could circumvent actual democracy and having to have a consultation and just put these things in without any consultation whatsoever. Now, I am not encouraging people to do these kind of things, because if you do, you leave yourselves open to charges of criminal damage and so on. But I do understand people's frustration. And where you used to be able to drive your car around freely in your own country, in your own city, local councils have put in blockages all over the place to stop you from driving from one place to another. And this hurts local people and local residents who can't get to work easily, have to drive longer distances and longer routes, which cause more stress on the daily commute, and then actually cause more emissions of things coming out of your car exhaust, not less, which is the justification and rationale that they use to put these things in. So people have been removing bollards and planters and so on, and this has been filmed. And I'll put a link to a video on social media which shows this happening. Obviously, what's coming in Oxford first is the first place that's going to try to implement 15-minute neighbourhoods. I think most of you who watch this channel know this by now, where they're going to try to zone the city into 6 different zones and say you're only allowed to drive from one zone to another on 100 days per year without getting a huge fine. And you'll have to register with the council to do that, so that they will be monitoring your movements and so on. And this is draconian, it's totalitarian, it's a shakedown of local people who want to use their cars and need to use their cars to get around. And it's even worse for businesses. If you're a tradesman, if you're a carer, if you're a delivery person, you drive a lorry or something to deliver goods to other businesses, then you have to pay every single day to drive around. So sometimes you might not be able to, because if you're restricted to 100 days a year, how on earth can you get to work if you need to get from one side of the city to the other without going all the way around a much, much longer distance, which will be on a ring road, which is already congested and which will get even more congested when they bring this scheme in. And this is just a trial. It's being introduced in other places around the UK, other places around the world. And it's been promoted by the World Economic Forum, as we've seen. Now, look, I know this seems like people are taking direct action and civil disobedience, okay, but this shouldn't be happening at all. And the way to stop this from happening at source is to get involved in politics, and that's a longer term solution. But it needs to happen. Now, in Oxford, for example, it's being implemented by Oxfordshire County Council. Now, the last elections for Oxfordshire County Council were in 2021. There are 63 councillors, and of those 63, 61 of them are either fake Conservative, Labour, Lib Dem or Green. 61 of 63 councillors are in globalist parties that are fully signed up to the UN programme of 70 Sustainable Development Goals, the World Economic Forum, etc., etc. There's one independent and there's one residents' association councillor. What should be happening if we want to stop this is that we need to stand against the globalist parties and get parties in which are for the people. Now that can be local independents, there's local independent groups around in a lot of places, and I'm happy to work with local independent parties where they share our values, because there's 8,000 council seats up for election this May. So the Heritage Party that I'm the leader of will stand in as many seats as we possibly can. The shocking thing about the last elections in Oxfordshire is the turnout was only 37%. So 63% of people didn't vote. And that just opens the door for these parties to get back in again if people don't vote. But it also presents a huge opportunity, because if people who don't vote, have never voted, turn out to vote, we can actually change things. There's about 30% of the whole population that vote in Westminster elections because they consider them to be important, but don't bother voting in local elections. So let's encourage people to vote in local elections, so that they can change things, and so we can get rid of these anti-freedom, anti-vehicle, anti-car measures, which want to impose restrictions on people and stop people from being free to drive around their own countries and their own cities, which is absolutely wrong. So as well as needing to get the turnout higher, we need to stand candidates where we can. So I would appeal to you again, if you're watching this, please come and join me in the Heritage Party. Everyone who joins helps us to grow in influence and gives us a louder voice. And it also helps us to support our candidates. We have many great candidates standing in lots of places around the country already, but we need more. As I said, there's 8,000 council seats up for grabs this year across England and also in Northern Ireland. So please also consider standing as a candidate, even if it's just as a paper candidate where you hand your forms in. You don't do any formal campaigning, but at least that gives everyone a chance to vote for someone who's on their side and is not representing the globalist elite who wants to take away your freedom. So please do consider that. The website, of course, as always, is heritageparty.org. And if you can, please do subscribe to my channel down here and give me a thumbs up as well. That will help me and my channel to grow. Okay, thank you for listening. Let's take action. May this be the year we all get together and take action, and we can take back our political system, our councils, and our parliament, and make it work for us and not those who are against us. Thanks, everyone. God bless you all.